Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. We'll get started in probably just under a minute here.
Hi.
So thank you guys for coming to today's 2025 kickoff webinar. We have a couple of just quick housekeeping notes at the top. We are recording this webinar. We'll send it out to everyone who registered. That would be all of you on the webinar right now, within about 24 hours. If you ever miss a webinar or you don't see that email, you can also always find our webinars posted on our website under knowledge base and then webinars and events, usually within about the same 24-hour time range. If you have any questions throughout this webinar, just use the questions box in your GoToWebinar module. We may answer some of the questions throughout the webinar, but we'll save most of them for the end. And if we have any that are really specific or we don't get to, we'll follow up with you after. The last thing I'll say today is if your GoToWebinar looks a little bit different today than you've seen in the past, we did upgrade this to a new version. So all the functionality should still be similar. You should still be able to find everything. But if you can't find what you're looking for, just maybe in a slightly different place today. I think we will turn it over to Bob and Allison.
I'm Bob.
I'm Allison.
Nice to see you all. Thanks for coming. I guess next slide. Basically what we're going to do is I'll talk for a little bit and kind of get context on the company and where we're at and where we're going. And the part of that is important, the way that we feel it's important, is that you all are really investing in us and our company, and we want to make sure that you understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, and kind of some of the higher level strategies that we have going on. And then Alice and I are going to switch back and forth and kind of go over what we're doing on the product side, a little bit of the past, and more talking about what's coming in 2025. So it turns out that in spite of my gray hair, we are 15 years old. So happy birthday to us. Steven Sigwart and I started this company in January of 2010. So it's a nice round number, so it's easy to do the math. When I started putting this presentation together, I was like, what are the kind of the key things that kind of we've learned over the past 15 years. So one is that building good technology for events takes a lot of time, because some of this stuff is not easy. It takes a lot of talent of the team, and it takes caring about it. And I think those three things are really kind of what we've refined and what we've really thought about. And I think it's kind of what makes us a little bit unique in this marketplace. The second thing we've learned is that events need event platforms. So initially, we were just a plain vanilla registration page. But what we've done over the past years, and you've seen this recently, the past, say, 3 years, with email V2 and website V2, we feel that platform types of features like website and email, things that are very apparent from an event that needs to be first class, it needs to have all the event data tightly tied in with that. So having MailChimp and WordPress work with your event is not as good as having event native types of software that's directly in the platform. Third thing we've learned is that people take time to decide to move over to us. And we've kind of had this approach from the beginning that we don't want to be too pushy. We kind of are a little bit egotistical, so we think that everybody will eventually use us, but that people are on their own agendas, they've got their own things, their own priorities in life, and it'll take time for them to move over. And the final thing is that, like, we started this business kind of as just kind of like a little side passion project almost. And it turns out that it's a wonderful business model, and where we've just built an amazing team, and the customers that we have are just incredible. So thank you all for being a part of this. Here's our history. You can see the amount of transaction dollars that our customers have generated as revenue on our platform each year. We've had really good growth. This past year was really solid. It was above our expectations. We grew about 20% overall. And sometime in February, we're actually going to cross the $3 billion mark that our customers have raised on our platform. We've got three businesses. So The legacy business is RunSignup. It's the endurance marketplace. It's races. It's the stuff that most of the people on this call know us about. That was actually really healthy this year. And it was healthy for two reasons. One is that we continue to gain market share, so more and more races kind of come onto our platform. And secondly, it was a great year for races. On average, the average race grew about 8% from 2023 to 2024. So a 1,000-person race in 23 was 1,080 people in 24. The donations that are on our platform are pretty significant. They were over $60 million this year. And so that's going up and to the right along with the rest of the business. The ticket sign-up graph is a little bit, it can be misinterpreted because it starts in 21 rather than 2017. And so the slope on that curve is actually much steeper. The growth of that business is much more accelerated. And so what you see in the bottom right-hand corner is that over time, ticket sign-up will continue to grow quite quickly. RunSignup, the endurance business, will kind of continue to grow, but not nearly as fast as ticket sign-up. And we'll have this kind of healthy mix of business. And the really interesting thing behind this is that our core function is to develop software. We can develop more software by hiring more and better people. And we do that with money. And by having these multiple product lines adding to our development support, we're able to develop more software. 2024 was a big milestone year for us. In 2020, we were going down this path of thinking that GiveSignup would be really fast growing. Turned out to be not that fast growing. There's plenty of nonprofits that are using us, but it's not like this big swell that we needed outside capital for. We took some outside capital in 2020, but we wound up really not needing it. We never spent the money. So what we did this past year is we bought out Payrock, who was the outside investor. It was a payment processing company. We actually wound up never utilizing their payment processing technology. We stayed on Adyen, but it was a very nice parting of the ways and everything. But what it means is that our company is now back to being entirely employee owned. And if you look at the little circle on the bottom right, which is part of the guiding principles that we've had since the start of this company, it says that most companies operate on kind of like a three-leg stool of employees, customers, and owners. And you have to keep a balance between all those. But we're in this enviable position where we don't have to share with outside owners, which means that we can invest more in developing more software, and we can treat our employees very well, and they can kind of split, basically customers and employees kind of split what could have gone to outside owners. So we are, you can flash through all this. Back when I was saying that we have this increased amount of revenue to pay for our development, what's amazing about our platform is it's a single platform. It's a single platform, huge code base, over 2 million lines of code, 2,700 tables, and that we can make, last year we made 2,300 releases to it. And all those releases, pretty much all of them, aggregate up to the entire platform. So we make one addition to the new website capability, and it goes for memberships, tickets, and races. So this platform that we've come up with is very scalable. It's highly reliable. It's secure. It allows us to kind of have this one common platform that we take, that we take a lot of effort to take care of and invest in. But it allows us to kind of move into this ticket market very quickly because we were able to take a bunch of our features over, and it allows us to kind of continually renew the platform. Speaking of renewal, we talk about continuous improvement a lot in our company. So we think that a whole bunch of, little changes add up to a lot over time. And so we've had this V2 strategy for a while now. So we had RunSignup, it's 15 years old, a lot of that platform. What we did when we created TicketSignup is we took a bunch of those features and we kind of rewrote a bunch of them. Now, when you rewrite software, you can't have all the features that you've been building for 15 years. It takes time to build that many features up. But we were able to kind of start new versions of the website, new versions of email, new versions of the store, new versions of coupons. And as we're maturing each of those features and getting them up to kind of parity with what's available on the RunSignup platform or product, we then move those features over into RunSignup. And when we move them over, we gradually kind of merge them in and offer them initially as an option. So if you remember when we did Email V2, we offered that as an option for about a year, and then we moved everybody over. With Website V2, we've just released that in production, so everybody that's on RunSignup can upgrade to Website V2 if they want to. They can do it at their own time. That one will be a much longer lead time. I'm not sure that we'll ever kind of officially kill Website V1 because there's just too much legacy code there. But what happens is we're able to kind of continually improve the entire platform. Do you want to start this off?
Yeah, Email V2 has continued to mature a lot, and all of our customers are using that. Like we said, we migrated everyone from V1 to V2, and we sent over 670 million emails for free this year. That saves our customers a lot of money. It also saves a lot of time because those emails are integrated with your event data. And we'll talk more about the importance of that throughout this presentation. One of the features that we are working on adding to our platform is text marketing. And we've had text messaging for a very long time, I think since 2014, 2015. And that's been for emergency text messages and result notifications, split notifications. All that's going to stay the same. Text marketing is a distinct feature where you're going to be able to send text messages for a penny per contact. And we're going to start with a very basic version of that. The goal over time is to really evolve the way that we allow you to create contact lists for both email and text messaging over time. So we've talked about super lists in the past, and super lists are this concept of being able to go across everything that you own on the platform. So all of your participants, all of your members, donors, fundraisers, attendees, and be able to create filtered lists. So everyone who's come to one event in the past 3 years and donated at least $20, that is the concept of what a super list is. And what we want to do is be able to basically not just send an email, but also send a text from those types of filtered lists. And that's a highly efficient way to do your email and text marketing. We, over time, will add more options for your customers, whether they are participants or volunteers or members, to indicate which method of communication they prefer. And that's really going to save you a lot of money because you're not just like having these separate platforms where you're sending a ton of text messages, paying a higher price, and sending them to people that don't even really want them. You're doing it in a compliant platform, and you are kind of filtering that based on people's communication preferences so that you're reaching your customers in the correct method. And so that's really the strategy. I think Email V2 is really going to become like Communications V2, and it's going to extend to include text marketing. And all that's going to take time, but we do expect in the first quarter or so to have our V1 of basic text marketing, which if you're paying more than a penny per text is going to save you money. Websites V2 is a really strategic feature that we're continuing to roll out a lot of functionality for. And as Bob was saying, there's so many legacy features and races, it does take time to rebuild them into our V2 capabilities. But we have a lot of customers using it. I grabbed a screenshot from Through the Zoo today. I think that their website looks really nice, professional, and you just have more layout and customization options out of the box. One of the features that we're continuing to enhance is this concept of templates. And so right now you come out of the race, or when you enable V2 for races, you have a very basic like layout of your content. And we're continuing to enhance and improve that. So it's going to continue to get more customized to your event type. whether that's a gravel ride or a swim event or a traditional running event. You're going to see more images, more content that's responsive to the set of features and event type that you're doing, with even easier ability to customize. One of those ways that we're making it even easier to customize is the image gallery. We just added that to the cards component today, but that really allows you to fast track choosing events or images from our system images, as well as reusing the images that you have uploaded for other events. The event list is a really powerful tool that today timers and partners are using, but we're going to continue to make this more generally available. And you can see here the screenshot is a calendar interface. So this is one of the ways that we're continuing to populate calendars in more of our product. But being able to have this dynamic event list that's showing all of your upcoming and past events and have different format options so that you can really leverage this cross-promotion capability, and then being able to automatically detect whether you do have other events on the platform and automatically putting that event list on websites as you create more events. It's just going to really help that long tail of our customer base have a fully built out and really customized website out of the box, which fast tracks everything, like whether you want to add more customizations. We're going to continue to extend our component library, and we're going to include layout options. We've added a ton of background and formatting options so you can really get the look and feel that's unique to your website. And basically, we want to make those more visible to users and more friendly, and layout options will help with that. And then one of the projects we'll start towards the end of the year is multi-language, and that would detect users' like browser language that they have set, so that your website would be able to be delivered to participants and customers in Spanish, I think first. But essentially being able to do that bilingual website functionality for all of our customers.
Next gen membership. So we brought this out early in 2024, and we've had a running club product since 2013-ish, I think. Stephen and I were both kind of had an affinity for running clubs, so that was one of the early development efforts that we had, and it actually has worked out really well for the company because a number of the running clubs have events. And we have this kind of cross-sell capability where if you're signing up for a race, you can get a discount if you're a club member, and you can also sign up for the club if you're not a club member and get that discount, and vice versa. And so we've had hundreds of clubs actually migrated to the new version of this, and that migration went, amazingly well. The amount of support that we got on that was practically nothing. So we're really happy about that. And basically, we kind of have a leadership product in the membership space. The flexibility that we have in the way that we allow you to create different membership levels and types and everything is really quite powerful, either for individuals or families, and now for organizations. And we've also picked up all this platform V2 stuff. So V2 website, V2 email, V2 store, V2 coupons, etc. It's really quite powerful, and we got a lot of functionality out the door really quickly. We've done some really nice improvements that are big steps up over the previous club system. Probably one of the biggest one is having saved credit cards and doing automatic renewals, and also having true member cards and having that integrated with things like Apple Wallet and Google Wallet. And you can utilize your membership QR code to check into any race that's on the platform, which is really cool. And then kind of what's targeted for later this year is to actually put that same kind of race club type of cross promotion into the ticket platform. So if I'm a zoo, I could have somebody sign up for a zoo membership in addition to buying tickets. And then the final point on here is this loyalty concept. And we've had this concept for a while, and we have a number of different loyalty features in the platform, but we really want to bring it together this year and have this concept where you could actually have your organization assign points to different loyalty mechanisms. So many points for attending an event, so many points for volunteering for X number of hours, so many points for donating or fundraising and so forth, so that you could have kind of a leadership and a reward system set up for people that are really contributing to your organization. So let's head into the RunSignup roadmap. Actually, let me tilt that up. I don't know if you can see the picture behind me, but I took that picture like, I don't know, it's probably like 15 years ago. Might be even more than that. But it's the way that that scoring used to be done and how people would look at results. And so they'd wait for a sheet of paper to get printed out of the timer van, run over to the brick wall, get taped up there, and then crowd around it and point and stuff like that. Those were the old days. And in 2015, actually 10 years ago, James Harris and Race Joy and Roger Bradshaw and Race Director joined the company. And we had this vision at that point in time. And the vision really was to bring GPS data and chip data together into a single experience for the participants, for the timer, and for spectators. And with version 5 of race day scoring, we are achieving that. So we have had, I don't know, about 50 beta races that have utilized this new capability, where participants are able to track anybody that's running. They'll be able to track the GPS position if they're running with a phone, or they're able to track the chip progress. And estimated time of finish and things like that if they have a number of mats on the race. And what's really cool about this is that all these products work together seamlessly. We provide this technology to over 800 timers that are partners of ours. And so races can engage with these partners, and these partners now have the tool set to go and provide the smallest 5K with the same types of features that the New York City Marathon has. And we do it in a very affordable, cost-effective manner for them. This real-time platform is also being utilized for display purposes. So you'll start to see this popping up more and more. We're starting to see a number of our timers take advantage of these real-time display technologies. And two other really cool features coming this year. One is a big update to series scoring. We have a lot of customers that have, say, 5 races, and they score a set of all those 5 races to pick an eventual winner out of all of those. And then the other one is that we have this mobile timing app that we came out with a couple of years ago that is used as a backup timer for chip timing. It's used for small races. And what's coming is this ability to basically just use your phone and take pictures. And as you're taking pictures, they're getting uploaded to the race website and getting auto tagged, and bib 123 gets read as Allison Bickle. And so when Allison goes, or anybody that's looking at Allison's chip results or GPS results, they're actually seeing photos of her on the course appearing like just dynamically. Yeah, race day scoring is a huge investment that we've made over the past 5-6 years. And it's really become the obvious choice. There's a bunch of older timing technology that timers have used for many years, but this new generation of timers and the new people that are getting hired, they want and they need something like race day scoring, and it provides their business with like real tangible capabilities, so they don't have to go back to these days, and they can provide real modern solutions to their races that they support. Financial, do you want me to take it or you?
I can take it.
Okay.
So this year, there's always like a curveball. I feel like we've had like
sales tax, pandemic.
And this year's little curveball was fee transparency laws. And this is a new set of laws that's being passed in states right now that requires events and other types of sales like Airbnb to put the all-in pricing up front. So the registration ticket fee plus all additional fees, so that consumers are informed of what they're actually going to be paying at the end of the day. And we listed the states that have currently passed laws. And in all these states, we have automatically enabled fee transparency on websites. We also added a feature so that any event can go in and enable fee transparency, even if your state isn't listed on this. And we've had several customers that have done this. I know there was a race series in Texas that did it, and they got really great feedback from their participants. It just strengthened the trust. Even though in most cases the fees aren't that big, I think it's just like a thing that more consumers are being exposed to and are starting to expect. Right now, there is federal legislation that is looking like it's going to continue moving forward. And so as that progresses, we are looking into more flexible display options. We've kind of gone through a few different iterations and landed on this, which we feel very good about. But as this gets more broadly passed, and if every state ends up having these laws, we do want to offer flexible display options so you can show the all-in pricing in the way that makes the most sense to you. This is really emphasizing the benefit of having your event website and email be on RunSignup or TicketSignup, because we're automatically keeping you in compliance. And the liability is on the race if they are not showing all-in pricing. And you think about how many different ways you communicate pricing. It's not just on these event tiles. It's also on your automated price increase emails and marketing emails. It's on different pages of your website. We have so many different options for pricing, like age-based pricing and membership discounts and all these different things that change the price increases. And what our platform is doing is we're automatically keeping you in compliance so that you can be regardless of what form you're communicating in or where your pricing is displayed, because it's being data driven by our system, like you don't have to worry about not being in compliance.
And some of these states, the penalties are pretty severe. It'd be like $10,000.
Up to $10,000, I think, is the highest one.
Yeah.
We're also doing a big project right now, upgrading Adyen, which is our payment processor. And some of the stuff is just in the background. It's just going to help us onboard customers more easily and efficiently. There are two features that we're looking into adding as part of this larger project. One is ACH payments. This will really help. It will complement our invoicing V2 that we came out with last year really nicely, and just allow for easier, more flexible, lower cost options for sponsor payments and other high priced items.
Yeah, and just to give a feel for what that might be, it might be allowed for payments that are over $1,000 or something. And we're looking at a payment fee of 2% rather than the higher payment fees that we have to absorb, where we absorb the credit card fees, because it's lower cost to us.
And then the other functionality that we're looking at and hoping to be able to incorporate into our product roadmap for this year is BNPL, which is like installment payments, really. And we do have a number of customers that have higher priced, like trip-based type of registration or ticket fees. So it'll be like $5,000, and they want to, or a camp registration fee, and you pay a certain amount up front, and then you pay the additional amounts in installments. And we would build the types of reporting so that you'd be able to get visibility into what has been paid, what hasn't been paid, etc.
And it'll be automatic withdrawals, right? So it might be a $5,000 thing. You pay $500 up front and then $1,000 each month. And that just automatically gets taken either from their bank account via ACH or taken from their credit card. And if there's failures, you'll be notified, and we'll do retries and send automatic notifications.
And then we talk a lot about V2 features, and we're just continuing to enhance the V2 features that we've brought over in the last couple of years. And those big ones are website V2 and email V2. And those two are still getting worked on by development teams, kind of full-time attention on them. We are looking to add 2 more V2 features that are pretty big and strategic. So the first one is volunteers. And we want to add this as a feature that can be just a standalone volunteer sign up that's not necessarily associated with one specific event, as well as completely integrated, just like it is today in RunSignup races. And this will allow us to bring volunteers to TicketSignup ticket events, as well as to membership organizations. And by rewriting volunteers V2, we're going to be able to introduce a full V2 set of features, including store V2 and website V2 to volunteers. And then one of the other calendars that you're going to see us come out with is a new calendar-based volunteer management. And that's really going to be a day view where you're clearly able to see your different tasks, your time slots, and dig into how many signups you have, who's in charge of those. It's going to be a next generation of volunteer management.
Volunteers is going to kind of be like memberships, right? So the focus of our business is events, and to help those events with things that are common for them. So memberships and volunteers are two very common things. And so you'll be able to use this volunteer system across all of your events. And the volunteer system will be a lot like the membership system, where, you know, it's kind of like a standalone. So you can have just a big volunteer website that has all the different volunteer opportunities on it.
And it will seamlessly link. You can offer discounts to volunteers, and that's where it filters into loyalty. So rewarding people, not just based on the amount that they've donated and how much membership tier they're on or whatever, and how many events they participated in, but also how many volunteer hours they've logged.
I got really motivated by this feature because I was out at this botanical garden in Grand Rapids, and they had, you know, in the entry hallway, they had a big display for all the top donors, but right equal with it was a big display of the number of people that volunteered for X number of hours. And there were people that had volunteered thousands of hours, which is equal in value to thousands of dollars of donations.
And then the other big V2 feature that we're looking to start, and this is a huge one, so it's probably going to take a lot of time. It's going to come out incrementally, but it is upgrading store. And so in races today, there are both add-ons and store items, and Store V2 solves both of those use cases. So rather than having two different sets of features, two different sets of reports, it's all going to get streamlined into one. Our Store V2 has a really, really slick way of handling multiple variants and pricing, as well as a whole next generation of reporting. It also has a warehouse so that you're able to pool and share inventory across multiple events, or all of your events if you want. And yeah, Store V2 is great. We still have a lot of features that we're going to need to add to Store V2 in order to meet all the different features that have been built in races over the years. But these are the top two focuses for our 2025 development plan. GiveSignup is our business that is focused on peer-to-peer fundraising events. And 2024 was a really, really big year for us in the peer-to-peer fundraising event space. And here I have 3 of these very large events that we onboarded this year. Chicago River Swim is actually, they came back for the first time. I think it was the first time people ever swam in the Chicago River. But that was a big fundraising event, you know, like $1 million type of fundraising event on the platform. They set up a full event website, you know, brought over a domain so that they don't have the overhead of a separate website. They were able to bring that back, and they do a lottery where people get selected and then they're able to sign up and become a fundraiser. And they have high fundraising minimum requirements, and they do an auto charge if those aren't met. Pedal the Cause came over from their own custom built solution after many years. They kind of realized that they wanted to be on a scalable SaaS platform for the long term. And this was a really, really powerful event to work with. They raised over almost $4 million, I think.
I think it was 4.5.
Yeah, they raised more this year than they had in past years. And we like to think that we helped a little bit with that. But this is an example of one of the pages. We helped them bring over past data and built out a lot of new features that came out last year that are just publicly available now. So the minimum fundraising commitments, where you can upgrade how much you raise and get incentives from those. The new custom question milestones and badges. The new fundraising umbrella teams. Those were all driven by onboarding this very large peer-to-peer customer. And it's nice to be able to see these other peer-to-peer events get to use those features. And we're just looking forward to continuing to work with them moving forward. And then Bend to the Shore is a local Philly event, and they moved over from a traditional fundraising platform. And I think what we're really seeing is that there are more and more fundraising, peer-to-peer fundraising events that realize that they need an event-specific platform for their fundraising events. And we just continue to be the right fit because we're not only free, but it's just the best event platform that's out there. And we've built out this really powerful fundraising set of features.
Yeah, at the end of the day, nonprofits need revenue, and if they can make more revenue by having an event-specific platform like ours, and that also integrates with their CRM, then that is kind of like having their cake and eat it too.
So on our product plan for GiveSignup this year, the first thing that I didn't really write about in the blog because we weren't sure how big of a feature this was going to be, but it's very, very impactful, I think. It's called Bring Back My Fundraiser. And what it's going to do is it's automatically going to populate people's fundraising pages when they sign up for the second year after they've already signed up for 1 year with the previous year's information. So that means that it'll bring over last year's picture, amount that I want to raise, and whatever other settings you want to allow fundraisers to bring back. So if you don't want this, that's fine, just disable it. But you can also choose and pick which of these things you want people to bring back. And it just makes it more efficient for people to sign up for peer-to-peer fundraising events and kind of make sure that they have like the slideshow that they had last year. It gives them a good starting point to update for this year, or it just, fast tracks and gives them a more complete looking page. The thing that we're using this to do is this new field called an external fundraising ID. And if you haven't imported one, it's just automatically being generated by our system. But one of the concerns that I hear from a lot of nonprofits is like, oh, well, this data won't work well in my CRM. And this feature is going to solve those types of problems, I think, because you can just have this one field in your CRM that's an external fundraising ID. And what we're doing is matching that year over year so that the fundraising data from last year is connected to the fundraising data from this year. And so nonprofits are just going to be able to export that fundraiser report, or if you want to do an integration, that's fine, but you can just export that fundraising report and you have that consistent field so that like in your CRM, where you might be doing most of your work out of, you're getting all that event data and you're understanding who your fundraisers are year over year. And so it's just a very powerful project. We have fundraiser milestone notifications that are probably coming out this quarter, and those will automatically send a customized notification that your nonprofit creates when fundraisers achieve the milestones that you want to notify them for. And those will be for number of donors and the amount raised. And then the big project that we're taking on, another big project that we're taking on is fundraiser email hubs. So that's the ability for fundraisers to send emails to their past donors, as well as their team members, and import their own contacts and send out different templates that the event makes available for them. And all that is going to use email v2. So it'll be a very nice new way for fundraisers to leverage email. TicketSignup. This past year, we rolled out the beta version of MTE timed entry ticketing. And this is a calendar-based ticketing system for events that happen on multiple dates and may or may not have time slots, as well as like admission and booking type of events. And our focus last year was getting out this beta version and getting customers onboarded to it. And so over the month of like the end of November to December, we really were able to onboard like a few holiday events. And we sold like probably close to 100,000 tickets for those holiday events. Yeah. And those customers got scanned and checked in via the Ticket app. So it was a really complete solution. And you can see one of those purchase paths here. So looking to this year, we're just going to continue to invest in this because it's a really strategic part of our ticket business that allows us to go after a lot of different verticals, not just those seasonal holiday events like a haunt or a holiday fest, but also admissions. The buckets that we're going to be focusing are on event and attendee management. And you can see here, this is how we do CAPS management. So being able to edit settings across a specific time slot or across dates or across ticket types. It's a really powerful, efficient, calendar-based way to manage your event as well as your attendees. We're going to continue to enhance the attendee purchase experience, and you can see what that purchase path looks like today. It's dynamic, so it's letting you know, like, this is the date that's sold out and this is how many tickets are left, and you're able to customize the look and feel of all that. And we continue to add more calendar views for the front-end websites to make those dynamic, calendar-driven, informative views for attendees. And then reports are also calendar based, and we're continuing to populate out this concept to other parts of our platform. This is really what's going to drive, I think, a lot of how we think about volunteers V2, and also getting brought into like the event list. So calendars are this way that really makes it clear like which dates are available for attendees. It makes it very clear about my ticket sales data and just gives me a really functional, easy to understand and digest way to look at things. And this really is a differentiator in a very, very large ticketing market because the old platforms are inefficient. They don't have a scalable database and they're kind of confusing to work with. And what we've introduced is something that is highly scalable with a patent pending database structure that allows us to continue to scale this product with a really friendly, intuitive, calendar-based interface for attendees and for event management.
Yeah, like the core of our company is just development talent, and this is truly a unique and really interesting technical problem to solve, is how to introduce calendars into a relational database type of a structure. And we've solved that problem, and it just opens up a whole new world of possibilities. And so it's very, very different from all the legacy vendors like Eventbrite and ShowClicks and Fair Harbor and so forth. And over the next 5 years, I think this will become a huge product for us and just help a ton of customers.
The other focus is just continuing to add more functionality to tickets. What we really want our company to be is a single event platform. And so RunSignup customers are really leveraging TicketSignup today. And I put 2 examples of events that used us in the last year. One is Harpoon Brewery. They've done a 5-mile road race on us for like 7-8 years now. And they started moving over their festivals. So they did Oktoberfest, and they were actually able to sell more than 1,000 tickets than they had the previous year because of our automated referral rewards program with tickets. And then Big River Running Company is able to expand the ways that they're able to help their customers by offering ticket sales. So people were able to buy tickets to this very well-known high school track meet, but they were also able to make donations. They were able to make store purchases, and that track meet continues to grow that email list for future fundraising events. And so it's just really expanding the ways that our customers can solve problems of growing events. It's an interesting way for customers to make more money because they're able to provide more services to the customers that they work with. And yeah, we just continue to work with a lot of different types of events, and just highlighted a few here in addition to track meets, festivals, concerts, a lot of nonprofit events, and then organizations that just do a lot of events, whether that's a running store, a chamber of commerce, a zoo, and these other multi-event organizations.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. Like when we first started this down this path, we didn't realize how common it was that some of our RunSignup customers actually had a whole bunch of ticket events that they were associated with in one way, shape, or form or another. And yeah, a lot of our success on the ticket side is actually from a single customer that had used RunSignup, trusted us, and knew that we would do a good job for them on the ticket side.
Yeah, and so I think just to wrap up this webinar, I was on a call earlier this week with a customer that is setting some new ticket events up, Poplar Forest, and they have been a race customer since 2017. They have like a small 5K, and we kind of are looking at these different races that are happening on our platform, seeing if there's other ways they could benefit. And this one was able to. So they started setting up some ticket events, and they have these woodworking workshops. They have a very big wine festival that happens in the spring. And then they also do daily admissions to the Poplar Forest. And so they're able to do all of those things on a single event platform. The interesting thing about this organization is that they also have a membership program where they have 1,000 members, and those members get different discounts. And so this is really kind of the long-term vision for how people can use our platform. You can use it for a one-off 5K and just use one piece of it, or just for volunteers, or just for email, whatever it is, you can pick and choose the pieces that you need. But I think what we're going to increasingly see is that having the one event platform with all these complementary tools of free email, free websites, free volunteers, free membership, it's just going to make things easier and simpler and bring all these really, really nice tools like websites and email to a lot of different organizations that might be paying a lot of money for old software. So it's really exciting to start to see this come together, just with customers kind of figuring out this is the right solution for them. And we're just going to keep building features that enhance each of these individual things, as well as help to unite them, bring them all together.
And if you couldn't tell, we really like to do that. Like, we really, really do love building features for our customers. And you know, like, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank all of our customers. Just you all are just so good to us, and we appreciate everything you do for us. And we're trying our hardest to help you all out as best we can.
Yeah, we love reviewing all the feature requests that we get every single Monday.
I know we can't
so
keep
fun.
up with every Monday. Allison and Steven and Bruce and Ryan and I get together and review all the stuff that came in, and you know, we can't keep up with all the individual ideas, but we take them all and we log them, and they inspire us to figure out what our priorities are, and
we're going to
where
keep doing this for the next 30 plus years, because there's a V2 to him, obviously. So we'll be around, so we'll solve all of them eventually.
We'll get there. Johanna, questions?
Yeah, we have some that have been coming in, and we have a few more I think will come from there. I will start here with a nice friendly one. Congratulations on building the best registration platform for running events.
Thanks.
Many of us in this business have nonprofit clients who are wed to Classy for fundraising. What strategies can you recommend for persuading these organizations to use RunSignup for fundraising as well as for non-run walk registration?
I think a couple of comments. One is to recognize one of the things that I said up front is that organizations have a complex set of priorities and people and politics and everything. And so they may not have the ability to have the time to make a change. It's easier for people to do tomorrow what they do today. Having said that, you have to show them the reason why this might be a better path forward. We do have a little bit of insight into Classy, in that Classy, that name is kind of go away, right? It's going to get absorbed into GoFundMe. And so, like, you know, they got acquired by GoFundMe. And so it kind of collapses in. And what our observation is, and this goes back to the employee-owned business model, is that, you know, a lot of acquisitions happen. It's like, it's great that they sold for a whole bunch of money and stuff, but like, they typically will get distracted and they'll kind of wane on their development efforts.
I think at the end of the day, though, that the argument with Classy is that it's a fundraising first platform, and with GiveSignup, you get both fundraising and events all in one. Classy's not built for events. It's built for like donors. And I think that for a lot of these fundraising events, they end up being fairly complex. Like, even if they're not timed, but it's a 100-mile cycling ride, like, you need checkpoints, you need timers kind of organizing how that event's going to be run, and you need a real registration platform in order to do all that. So all the downstream things like waivers and yeah.
I'll also offer up Chris Newcomer, Chris at RunSignup.com, is a full-time resource that we have for nonprofits to show what our tools are, especially in the peer-to-peer space. So he's a specialist in that. He knows all the nooks and crannies. He's helped people convert over from Classy in the past, and he really knows his stuff, and he's a very helpful guy.
Yes, and we'll work with you. Chris will work with you to help bring those nonprofits over time.
And we know that Chris is a good guy because he and Allison were in a little school play when they were like less than 6 years old.
Does race day real time save the GPS tracking of an individual so a race director can confirm that they completed the entire course?
Yeah. RaceJoy is an amazing piece of technology. So it actually keeps track of all the points that it's accumulating, and it will actually also send you an automatic notification if someone is off course. And it also works offline. So if you've got like a trail run that's really remote and loses connection and stuff like that, the actual map is actually in the phone. And as you're running across trails in Colorado or someplace like that, you're actually seeing yourself and where you are on the phone, and it will actually send the individual themselves a map of that. The other thing that some races will do is they'll put a phone in the lead vehicle and in the trail vehicle, so they'll see the head and the tail of the snake, and they'll be able to estimate when the whole race is going to be over.
Any new updates in 2025 for announcer functions?
So that is all this streaming technology that we're talking about. So we are going to be updating some of our display technology for that announcer mat type of thing. Announcer mat is like if you have a finish line, you set up a mat like 100 or 200 meters before then. And so when people are approaching the finish line, you know who they are. And that can either appear like on an iPad, so that somebody, a real announcer, can say, "Hey, here comes Allison Bickle to cross the finish line," or they can drive those displays like the overhead display, so it knows that Allison Bickle is approaching the finish line. So it shows her name coming up, and it shows a countdown clock or something like that.
Thanks for all the hard work. We love RunSignup. Are V2 email options currently available to email more marketing-based emails to our database of athletes across all events versus specific event communications? We're looking at more company-specific things like newsletters, so we could walk away from constant contact.
We use our own system for newsletters, so I think it's pretty good. So we have a list of like, I think, what is it, Johanna, like nearly 200,000 contacts?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah, so we just, import updated contacts to that, and you'll be able to leverage Superlist really well to do that automatically within, your events, your system contacts. And then we just use the designs. And actually, if you go to pre-built emails, there's some newsletter templates, I think under the other category, and they're kind of laid out in a similar way that we lay out ours. It's really nice with the 3 columns as well. You can really have like very, very nice looking email newsletters. And so we use it, so we think it's good enough, and also saves us a ton of money from what we were previously using.
The photo instant upload is great. What will be required of the person taking the photos? Meaning, what access, if we have a volunteer or hire a photographer, what kind of access do they need for the race to use that?
So they'll have to have a login, much like the check-in app. So you have to have some level of authentication so that you're not getting random photos posted to your race website. But that's it. Then what will happen is that they'll either kind of name their album, or will default an album for that location point. So it's going to be drop dead easy.
If I have a VIP reception after our event and there is no charge, can I still use TicketSignup?
Yes.
Sure.
Free events are free forever. So you can just set that up and people can register, RSVP.
A couple of questions on timing and such. When will we be able to embed a PDF in an email?
I'm not sure that you're going to be able to embed a PDF in an email. You will be able to put a PDF on the website. That's a feature that we'll come out with. But embedding a PDF in an email is very 2005-ish.
When will the SMS text product be deployed, and who can we contact to set it up? Do we need a shortcode, or is it a universal RSU shortcode?
We're going to be taking care of all that stuff. So I'm always optimistic. I hope that it's going to be by the end of Q1, so the end of March. But I'm usually wrong by a month or so. But it's somewhere in that time range.
Plus or minus.
Plus or minus a few weeks. But but you'll just go in and if you've got people that have put in their phone numbers before, you'll be able to send a text to them. And we're taking care of watching and opting people out when they either opt in or opt out, so that you're not going to because we on an overall basis have to comply with all the spam laws and everything, and as you probably know, we're a pretty conservative company, so we're not going to get in trouble. We're working on that right now to figure out exactly how we want to do it. But the idea of what we want to do is we want to have, say, a phone number per state. So if I'm stemming from New Jersey, I would have like a New Jersey type of number that it's being sent from. So all the races that are in New Jersey would send from that number. We are going to put a bunch of kind of special software together and monitoring together to make sure that, if somebody's sending 10,000 text messages, we're going to meter it a little bit to make sure that it's not a spammy type of a list. But we're going to take care of everything for you.
Follow up on PDFs and email, the capability to embed a video in email.
Video is really tough to do in email. There's so many email clients. We are talking about doing email and website.
No, video and website.
Video. I'm sorry, video and website. And what that will probably require is that you have a Vimeo kind of pro account. I forget what they call it. But to be able to have video stream properly and to have it work across multiple devices and everything, it's a complex problem that we're not going to solve natively. So we're going to require you to have a Vimeo Plus type of an account, so it works over a CDN and stuff like that over the Vimeo CDN.
Any updates on Volunteer V2? We make heavy use of the current system and are looking forward to a second-gen system.
Yeah, so we're going to start working on that sometime probably in the summer. I'm not sure it's going to get released this in 2025. It'll probably kind of be a winter of 26 or spring of 26 full release. It'll look a lot like the membership product. So it'll be a standalone where you'll go in and you'll set up various different volunteer tasks. And you'll be able to group those tasks together. And basically, we've taken input from the past, 8-9 years that we've had the volunteer system. So we have all those catalog. We know what everybody wants, and we're going to try to do our best to fulfill that. But for 2025, count on using the existing volunteer system.
I think we'll do maybe one more question because this has been an hour. On my team.
Our organization hosts an annual charity luncheons. Will the renew event option on RunSignup be added to TicketSignup?
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, it'll take some time.
And yes, we do have some remaining questions in here, but I will go through them and we'll make sure that someone follows up with you to get your answer.
I'll be a little bit more flexible. Anything super hot there, Johanna?
I think a lot of these are more specific, so I think we're fine. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
If you like what you've seen here today on RunSignup's YouTube channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. Comment below with your favorite thing we did today. Tell all your friends, and happy running days to you.
Right. Every video is going to have that at the end of it now.
Absolutely. Why not? Why?
That was Joel, everybody.
I'm a software developer, but I moonlight as a YouTube sensation. Hi, Mom.